Welcome to a new video segment on cosmetic leg lengthening. Today, I would like to discuss the aspect of X-rays with you. How many X-rays are taken, when X-rays are necessary for us, and what the reasoning behind it is. The first X-ray is of course taken before the surgery. We would like to have full leg standing, X-rays specifically in two planes. This is simply for measuring your leg axis, or rather also the bone cavities of the thigh and lower leg, and the measurement of the curvature of the thigh and to prepare for the surgery. I will focus on the dimensions and proportions of the bones. From the thigh again in a separate video sequence. What's important for me today is that, an X-ray is required to plan the surgery and to make the measurements preoperative. Then we have the next X-ray after the surgery during the inpatient stay in general, just as a check to ensure that the implant is properly positioned, that all the screws are securely in place, that the small gap we give you at the beginning is okay, and that everything has gone according to plan, how it was also done during the surgery. The next X-ray check we need is only in the middle of the lengthening process. That means generally after about 6 weeks. Then we just want to see that everything has gone well. That is approximately the distances. That is the distraction distance in the bone. That everything is approximately uniform, that the implant and the screws are all still perfectly in place, and just to have a check. For us, please, neither in the middle nor at the end. Trying to measure the distraction distances exactly with the radiologist. That won't work. The most accurate way to measure the distraction distance is the number of clicks they perform. The background is actually quite simple. You have per click that you perform a distraction of precisely and exactly 0.052. 0.05 millimeters. You cannot influence that in any way, but you can have a lot of sources of error and produce them in the X-ray area. That is with a different projection, or if you turn a bit to one side for the X-ray, or if the distance is, so to speak, a bit larger. And you have quite a few measurement inaccuracies there. And that simply always results in a measurement error. When you try to measure both distraction distances exactly in the X-ray image, that's a relatively large variance. The last X-ray we take is at the end of the distraction distance. That means as soon as they stop with the distraction next week. An X-ray would only be necessary of the area of distraction in two planes. That meant in the thigh area, just the thighs in two planes, or in the lower leg area. The lower legs in two planes. Just to double check that everything is fine, that it fits well, and that the distraction distance has progressed roughly the same amount. So then the consolidation phase begins. We would like to check the consolidation phase again after 3 months. Even there, basically the thigh is enough. In a thigh lengthening, or the lower leg in a lower leg lengthening, to see how far the bone regeneration has progressed. We call that callus. Then we see these beautiful callus bridges that are already starting to span this area quite well. If we see that everything is all right and that it is as we would expect, the very last X-ray would only be necessary before the removal of the metal. Implant removal means that after about 2 years we recommend removing the implant, and before we remove the implant, another X-ray would be necessary to check the complete consolidation. In between, you don't need any. Thank you very much for that.